The quarterback position. You can take luck out of the equation and go with an elite like Aaron Rodgers, who now has a healthy Jordy Nelson, or Cam Newton with his healthy Kelvin Benjamin. Going with either guy will cost yourself a second or third round draft pick. I have a better strategy. For the first time in Beast Dome history, I'm telling you to not worry about the quarterback position and fill out your roster. When the time comes, you will be able to snag 2 stars for bottom of the barrel draft picks. My quarterbacks of 2016. Before you say, I don't want to mess with that again, Stafford finished the last 8 games of the team going 6-2 with 20 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. The change to Jim Bob Cooter at the offensive coordinator position lit the Lions offense on fire to close out the season. The Lions did not make a change at the offensive line position. The running game is as weak as ever now that Joique Bell is gone. Amir Abdullah and Theo Riddick are best when they are catching passes in the open field. Neither can take too many carries without the risk of injury. The best part about Stafford is the fact the Lions throw the ball to run the ball. Golden Tate should get 5+ bubble screens a game, and Stafford will bootleg a lot to pick up short yards in the quick passing game. Last season, the Lions faced Minnesota, Denver, Seattle, Arizona 4 weeks in a row to start the season. In 2016, they have won the most cupcake schedules in the NFL. The Lions only have 3 games that are away from a dome, and 2 of them happen within the first 4 games of the season. You can argue that Calvin Johnson no longer being there makes the Lions a worse team. However, during that span of Stafford going off for 20 touchdowns and 2 interceptions over the final 8 games, Calvin Johnson went over the 100-yard mark during that span only once, along with 6 touchdowns. The Lions got much more athletic with Marvin Jones, who can stretch the field and really go up for passes, along with Andre Roberts, who's a very talented vertical threat. Most of the heavy lifting will be done by Eric Ebron over the middle and Golden Tate everywhere. But the Lions are loaded with playmakers in the passing game who can take a 5-yard pass and turn it into a 20-yard gain. The pass attempts will be there for Stafford all season, especially in the red zone. The Falcons were plagued with offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan doing a horrible job running the Falcons offense in 2015. It was one thing to stop using Roddy White. It is an entirely different thing not to do anything to replace him. This season, Roddy White is no longer there. In comes Mohamed, you snooze, you lose. Sanu is a very talented receiver who can make big plays down the field and should be an excellent complement to Julio Jones, who is arguably the best wide receiver in the game today. Julio is still at his peak, and as long as Matt Ryan takes a shot at Julio, Matt Ryan will end up with good numbers. The X factor that is really going to help the Falcons is the addition of Pro Bowler Alex Mack. Mack was the center with Kyle Shanahan in Cleveland, and him coming over to Atlanta to manhandle the offensive line will allow Matt Ryan to concentrate more on picking opponents' secondaries apart. The Falcons' schedule is an interesting one, but it goes very well with Matt Stafford's. Falcons play at Philly for Stafford's bye week is big, and the start of the season should be a boom for Matt Ryan and the Falcons offense, which includes a Monday Night Football game in New Orleans. If you play it right between the two, you could be in a dome all 17 weeks of the season. The fantasy playoffs can easily set up Stafford at home against the Bears on week 14, Ryan at home against the Chip Kelly and 49ers in week 15. Then you can let Stafford take the championship home for you on Monday Night Football week 16 in Dallas, a stadium which almost guarantees a 400+ yard performance as he always tears up his home state Cowboys. In the end, you can build an unstoppable team this season in fantasy football while getting 2 quarterbacks who play on teams that are constantly in a dome. Matt Ryan is currently ranked the number 18 quarterback on Fantasy Pros, Stafford at number 19. 2 quarterbacks who should throw for over 4,500 yards and 30 plus touchdowns, no questions asked. Find out my entire draft strategy on the VIP packages. Coming soon.